one print group which has thousands of crores of rupees in its treasury, and two industrial groups who have tens of thousands of crores, then they can spend a few hundred crores on landing pages and upset, the news industry. We should have a balance in the news industry, we believe, and we would like to petition you for that if you allow.
You're most welcome. Like I said, finally, we ourselves have said this. I'm sure a lot of people in the room didn't know what I just said.
Yes.
That, chances are, please help me by raising your hands. How many of you heard it for the first time that, BARC had recommended knock off the entire landing page and it came back from the constituents, don't do it. So my plea to you, definitely you recommend, but I will go back to, unfortunately, IBDF is what controls the, on the BARC board. So I'll go back to that.
Karthik. So if I may say so, we understand completely where you're coming from and appreciate that. The only limited point I would like to make is that for any reason, let's say this doesn't fructify and doesn't come to a conclusion, as there has been impasse on this issue for a while, at least what BARC has done in the past is that they have reported dual data, which means calling it out for what it is and saying, okay, this is the data with the landing pages, this is the data without the landing pages.
Which allows us to...
Even if you put that out, which is a matter of fact, it will bring clarity to people and might even dissuade the people who are doing it because they won't get the ultimate benefit of it, what they're trying to gain out of it.
We're petitioning for that.
Good suggestion, Karthik. I don't know whether you've done in the past, but if you say so, they'll be easy to implement.
We can formally petition BARC on this and meet them on...
So let me put this way, I didn't know we had done it in the past. So
No, sir, we are taking a flight on Monday. All of us are coming to Bombay to petition.
No, you don't take a flight.
We are very quick. Our federation is very quick, sir.
It will be easier for me if I figure out, as Karthik has said, that, we have done it in the past, then firstly, I'm quite surprised by what you said, because if we had done it in the past, why would we have gone back?
Yes, sir. I'll give you a personal example. I remember when India News had two LCNs on DD Free Dish, and we had inquired from BARC and saying that, two LCNs at that point of time was perfectly permissible. And while it was permissible, our data was reported, it said that India News runs on two LCNs. So
dual LCN?
Yes, dual
landing
LCN.
page we are not done.
Yeah. So when there is enough precedence in the past to actually report the data when you call it out for what it is, and all we are saying, you're merely stating the facts. So there is nothing wrong that you're doing. This is the data with the pages. This is the data without the pages.
Let's get some other questions in. Jagi.
Yeah, Jagi Panda. So this is a question that I've even asked GVK, who's here, when he was with TAM, and is the contentious question that the sample size, the number of boxes have to really exponentially grow, not the gradual growth that we see now. So what is your plan for the coming few years in terms of what kind of growth can we see in that sample size, because that will kind of bring down the lot of ambiguities that we see in the data today?
So I give the answer in 2-3 forms. The first form is, I'm missing my friend Vikram. His last promise having coffee. Maybe it's good to get him here because he will answer the question.
Actually, yes. Is Vikram here?
But I will answer the question in 2 ways. So it's a very expensive proposition. As you know, BARC is about 300 crores in terms of spends, and bulk of it comes from the GCs because there's a 0.75, 0.8% revenue which comes in from there. So obviously it's optimization of cost versus... Vikram sir, we need you here.
Vikram, there's a question on TechCom which
Jagi asked a question which I think you're more competent.
Why don't you come up?
Yeah. So... yeah, I need you to come up. So
it's an ambush. It's a BARC ambush.
So firstly, what is the number of boxes going up?
Percentage,
no. So Vikram will answer the question. Will number of boxes going up, will it lead to relative errors being coming down? That's the question you asked. He will answer the question. I'm not sure. And at what stage it will happen. However, there is a big discussion happening at this point in time. Vikram and we are both involved on, and sir had started this on RPD, return path data. Yeah, we are working on that. The problem with return path, and that's in my mind, a foolproof way of doing it. There are two challenges with return path is, return path on DTH is possible. Not all operators are agreeing in the pilots at this point in time. On cable is a monster. Yeah, and I will say something because I believe I'm a friend of the industry. So, and you understand, I'm this part, I'll say in my personal capacity, not as BARC, that if you keep out, like some people are pushing us that, do only DTH. and don't do cable. So time spent on cable is more than time spent on,
Of course, yeah.
yeah. And the implication of that is that total TV already is dropping, it will drop further.
Even my question is on the same thing, like as Jagi says it, like today we are an amalgamation of national and regional media. But when we are sitting, we are totally represent our NBF as a federation. But the same question, since I represent Northeast, so we have a population around 45 million people, so touching every doorsteps. Our issue is that we are exempted from a lot of things like in DAVB, but when it comes to the TRP, that is a bread and butter. So ultimately, logistically, we are not supported. And the same sample size of 50,000, whether it's representing the 45 million people, like how do we do it? And in an earlier conversation, as I was hearing, so when it was News Live, Assam is okay. But in an other channel, when we have the Northeast Live, we represented the 8 states. But the thing is that in that case, when we are not logistically supported, our TRP level doesn't show high. And when we go to the planners, they strictly abide by saying that, no, you are not included. Then our existence comes into a threatening factor.
Absolutely.
So how do we explain that?
I'll answer the Assam question. I don't know, problem is in the forum you say how much you say, but well, I made that way, so I'll say. So there are 2 parts to this. Assam is an easier one for fix. We have been debating. You see, today Assam is part of HSM, rightly or wrongly, you know. And when we do the relative errors, and I'm throwing this open for discussion so that, you know, feedback can come as he talks of petition. Sorry, he's on the way there.
I'm here, no problem.
So one of the debates we are doing internally, and it's a contentious debate, if you understand the implication of what I'm saying, or I'm going to say just now, that suppose we treat Assam separately. It's not part of HSM. So, as a reporting market. Once we treat it separately, then obviously the sample has to be representative of Assam. So, sample may go out somewhat. But when you treat it separately, then a lot of broadcasters use Assam to build their numbers in HSM, may suffer. So, that's the debate we are doing.
Right now we have 2 TV channels. One is Assam based and one is Northeast based. My Assam based, which is News Live.
So I said it wrongly. What I meant was that take that whole part out of HSM for discussion. Yeah.
Shashi, her point is
I
think Chiku can mention it better, but the point being made here
I can
about
put it
sample
straight.
size and representation.
Let me put it straight. That we all know that regional channels are the future. But when the numbers come, the national channels, numbers are always, GRPs are always more.